All right, just a reminder, we're joined by Coach Brett Underwood of Illinois. If you have any questions, please raise your hand, give your name and affiliation. If you have a follow-up question, please use the microphone as well. So with that, floor is open for questions for Coach. In the back here.
Coach Evan Abramson, WA&D from Decatur. It seems like Chattanooga was kind of underestimated because they're not from a big-time conference. Houston from the American. I know you don't underestimate anyone, but do the players now realize this is anyone's game? Anyone can win a game in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think they've got a really good idea who the Cougars are. They were Final Four team last year. They're obviously been very successful for a long time under Kelvin, and so our guys have doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what league they're in. They know they're good.
Matt's on CBS 2. The guys up there were sort of talking about getting that first one out of the way, getting the nerves out of the way at the NCAA tournament. What is the mood of the team after, as you said last night, surviving and advancing?
Yeah, I thought we played tentative. I thought we played not to make mistakes, and you can't do that. And I don't know if that was maybe pressure from last year's early departure. I don't know. It gets talked about a lot. Last year's loss gets talked about. So they're human. They feel it. But it's also it's a very good feeling. And I know we've talked a lot about this. We could not play any worse offensively, and to find a way to win a game, and especially being down 20-6, is a pretty gratifying feeling. So I think that they felt like they believe in what we do defensively, and we found a way to make plays when we had to.
Coach Chris Bowden from WGN-TV. What did you make of Trent's performance last night, and was it a little surprising to you, especially the position that he's in and the urgency that he feels to finish off on a right note?
Yeah, I mean, I give Trent, some. He wasn't great. He wasn't himself. Trent's not going to have one of those nights very often. But we've also, Trent's been fighting an eye infection from pink eye since the morning he woke up in the Friday of the Indiana game in the Big Ten. And with that, he had some of the nasal stuff and bronchial stuff I've had. So he's just kind of feeling himself again. The great thing about Trent is just because he's offensively not very good, he made life pretty hard last night for their guys defensively. So there's a lot more to Trent than making baskets, but need Trent to play aggressive. And that's a key word. That's one thing I keep looking for him is just be aggressive.
Derek Piper, Illini Inquirer. How much is he visibly limited in terms of what he can see? And then do you have to make any adjustments in terms of putting the ball more in Curbello's hands just based on where he's at?
And we did some of that last night, no doubt. And, today's the best it's been by far. He's gotten some of the swelling. They've given him some different medicine to get rid of that. I don't know if you guys, he visibly doesn't have as much swelling. Last night, he said he tried dribbling with his right hand and he looked down and he almost couldn't see the ball. So it's been a problem for him. But again, tough nut and tough kid. And today it's obviously looks much better. So the medicine's kicking in and working.
Jeremy Warner, Illini Inquirer. Brett, I know you're usually not too concerned about shooting, but the numbers come down a little bit. Is there anything you guys had to do different offensively, or is it just having a couple bad nights in the midst of that?
No, I think that again, I want to give Chattanooga a little bit of credit. We got the ball to Kofi. I think we need Kofi to make free throws. That stems the tide a lot. We keep going to him. We put a lot of fouls on him. He drew 11. They're shooting fouls. He's got to make free throws. And then we got to play in transition. I thought, one of the things that we didn't do a very good job of was getting out running early. I thought putting Dre in the lineup, I thought Coleman getting out and running, getting a lob dunk, all those things changed. Jacob Grandison had a big piece in that. And so, we've got to be more assertive in transition. We've got to be more assertive offensively. The ball stuck way too much. We tried to do too much Kofi early, and we got to find that balance.
You mentioned Scott Ritchie, Champaign News Gazette. You mentioned Thursday that it had some good practices this week. The team had a presence about it. Did you see the same today?
Yeah, today was it was different today. I mean, I think it was, I don't want to say relieved, but there was a sense of joy last night. I mean, I think we felt a little bit different today, and I don't know how to describe that, but again, it's good to get that one by us.
Steve Greenberg, Chicago Sun-Times. Hi, Brad. Kind of two parts, both about Curbelo. First, it's hard. It would be hard for anyone who maybe isn't a basketball coach to interpret how a player can shoot 1 of 7, turn it over 6 times, and be plus 18. Looked at that and thought it was a typo. But so maybe you could explain that from your point of view. And then the other thing is you talked about wanting players to be aggressive, but in the case of Andre, I know I saw at one point yesterday, at least one point, you kind of yelling at him to slow down. So where's that balance, and how unique is it with him?
No, I want Dre to be aggressive, and I think one of the things that I, more than a lot of people, have a lot of trust in him, that he's going to make the right decisions. He makes other players better. And, when you start looking at the plus minus, you see our ball movement get better. You saw open opportunities. 2 of his 6, one was a miscommunication that he threw to Coleman, and that was on me. It was simply a play call that he only heard half of it. And then he throws a pocket pass to Kofi that goes right through his hands. He gets the turnover for that. So he's making other players better, and then the fact of what he does defensively gets completely overshadowed. I mean, he was electric defensively, and that's how you build a plus minus pretty quick when you start shifting things. And in last night's case, we were down 20-6 to start the game, and we were down 7-0 to start the second half. Insert those guys, and there's a little swing.
Brad Sturdy, Illini guys. Brad, you play a team in Houston who they're great defensively, but they give up a lot of 3-point attempts. They kind of let you run your stuff, and then they contest everything. Have you played a team like that, and how important is 3-point shooting against a team that kind of allows you to take threes?
Yeah, you got to make some. There's no doubt. You've got to make them. And, they do what they do, and they do it at a very, very high clip. They're one of the best ball screen teams in the country. They're athletic. Excuse me. They play great in rotation. I made the statement when I was at Stephen F. Austin. They remind me a lot of my teams there. They were just way more athletic, but playing in rotation a lot. So you've got to be ready to shoot half contested threes, and then you've got to be able to make the extra pass. And along with that, to their credit, they do what they do, and they do it very well. They trap post, big on big, and you know what's coming. There's no tricks.
Excuse me. Joseph Duarte, Houston Chronicle. Brad, along those lines of defensive, approaches by your opponents, is it sort of you look last night, I think Chattanooga used 11 fouls on Kofi. Is that sort of the way of life when it comes to how teams like to defend him, and is that sort of...
Well, they only called 11. In Big Ten play, those were probably closer to 6 fouls drawn and 19 missed, but he's seen it all. And, he draws so much attention. And again, he's been shooting free throws at a 70% rate this year. So, it's been really good for us. But Kofi sees that every single night, and he just takes it and just goes about his business. He got a little frustrated last night with his missed free throws, but he sat out there, made a bunch today. So we'll hope that that trend's over.
You talked a little bit earlier about the pressure that comes with playing in the NCAA tournament with all the conversation from last year. What kind of conversations are the players having, or you guys having with them to just avoid trying to play with pressure? Is it being ignored?
Well, if they didn't have to listen to you guys, it'd be great. I think the one thing that's out there is that you want them to have fun. You try to keep instilling that and to go play loose, go play with your hair on fire and just cut loose. And it's a player's game, and we got good players. We need to be able to go out and show that off. And I thought we were tentative yesterday, and that's not us. And again, no offense to Chattanooga, but we didn't play the way we're capable of playing. That's for sure.
Brendan Quinn with The Athletic. You were asked about Houston's defense. It's been a core principle there to, hard doubles on the post. And I just wonder, from your perspective, Kofi, his ability to play through doubles and things like that, how much of that development have you seen, and how ready do you think he is for that kind of challenge tomorrow?
Yeah, and I mean, he's been, we saw it real early this year. Arizona game, Arizona doubled us, every trip, every time he touched it. He made great passes out. He was very, very effective. He keeps working. He understands to repost. He understands we've got shooters around him. So sometimes, he's the best asset we have to throw it in there, let him double him, and put a team in rotation and let our shooters make decisions or throw back to him on a repost. So he's been great. That's one of the things of Kofi being a junior that he wouldn't have made as a freshman.
Mark Shanowski, ABC Chicago. Coach, I think I saw a graphic. You guys only led for 25 seconds last night. Obviously got the win right at the end, whereas Houston ran out to a 34-12 lead or something like that against Birmingham and an easy time of it. How important is it for you to get off to a good start in the game tomorrow, because it puts so much stress on your team to have to play from behind for 40 minutes?
Well, we led the right 25 seconds, and that's the important thing. I think that we always want to get off to a good start. We don't want to have last night 20-6. We do that against Houston. It becomes an uphill battle, and but I'm not expecting that. And we've been a team that's had good starts, and if things get a little rough, we'll make substitutions or call a timeout and try to stem it. But I don't anticipate that, and they are who they are. We've got to be great in transition. We've got to be great on the glass, and ultimately you've got to be able to make some shots. And we got good shots last night. I mean, you look at Trent's looks; they were great looks. Plummer got a couple early that were good looks, and we just didn't make them. So hopefully they go in tomorrow.
Brad, Joey Wagner, Illini Inquirer. It seems like we've heard you use the word aggression with Trent for a while now. What kind of different buttons can you press to maybe unlock that out of him?
Yeah, I mean it's we've got to put him in some actions to get him a couple shots. And Trent, when Trent's at the point, Trent tries to do exactly what we try to do, and get him the ball and execute. And sometimes he turns down opportunities that come his way. I don't want him turning those down. I want him letting that thing fly. We all know, we've seen the Trent Frazier can go get 30, and we need that in this tournament. When Illinois basketball is at our best, Trent Frazier's a big part of that. And nobody has more confidence in him than me. He's a guy that we all know can hit game winners. He's a guy that can get his own. He's got to be that tomorrow.
Anderson Kimball, Decatur Herald Review. Earlier, Andre said he didn't think he'd played this much defense in his life. I guess what did have kind of you done, and what has he kind of done for you guys to be able to get that out of him the last couple weeks? Well,
if he wanted to play, he was going to learn to play defense, and that's one of the staples of our program. He's an elite defender, because he's got unbelievable instincts. Last year at this time, he was our leading rebounder in our last 5 games. He had 10 the other night against Indiana. He's a guy that he just has an unbelievable nose for the ball. He's got great length. He's got really, really strong and powerful hands. So when he gets his hand on a ball, it's his. And he's just got a gift at that end. And all we did was just push the button that says you're going to play hard and you're going to do it, and he does that.
Matt Stevens, Illini guys. Brad, is the tentativeness from last night what leads Chattanooga to get 16 offensive rebounds, or is there something else you're seeing that allows that number to happen? But what do you think could possibly?
No, I think it was
get
all
you to
that. I think it was all
carry
that.
over?
Yeah, I think it was all that. I think that people forget most of the year we were number one in the country in rebounding, and then all of a sudden we just Kofi stopped being active and chasing balls, and Kofi was getting 18, 20, 17, 18 rebounds every night. And, I've said it many times, we can't be happy with Kofi getting a double-double. Kofi can't just be satisfied with getting 10 when there's 20 that he can get. And Coleman Hawkins has been great. He's helped us. But we've got to get more out of our guards. And, one of the things that Houston's number one in the country at, they're number one in the country at offensive rebounding missed threes. And they get almost 40% of them back, and they score on half of them, which is an electric stat. And so guards, long shots, long rebounds. Guards got to go chase rebounds. It can't just be, hey, we expect Kofi to rebound for us. We've got to get guards, rebounding. We've got to get guards chasing balls and be very dialed into that.
Do you have any relationship with Kelvin Sampson?
Yeah, I've known Kelvin a long time. We scrimmaged each other right when he got to Houston. I was at SFA. His son I've known his son for a long time, and as well, and he was an assistant at SFA at one point. So, we've just been acquaintances. Speak all the time on the road and got great respect. And guy's been to, taking two teams to two Final Fours, and he's had a lot of success along the way.
Last question for Coach.
Chris Wooden, WGN-TV again. Coleman made those great two plays at the end, and he's been contributing a little bit more here as you've gone along. Can you just talk about the trajectory of his season and his growth, since he's going to be a guy that you're probably going to be counting on come next year too?
Yeah, Coleman's quietly a double-double guy. Every time I turn around, he's got 9, 8, 10, 9, 11, 12 points, and he's close to that rebound-wise. And great facilitator. He's a guy who can really shoot it. He's a guy that can pass it, and again, do that in a 6'10" frame. I mean, the block that he made last night was elite because he moved, he slid his feet, he had his hands up, and there wasn't any, I have to load to go block this shot. It was boom, I'm there, and just made a great block, and then actually got the rebound on the missed shot. So, Coleman's been an elite defender. His growth has come on the offensive end, just playing tougher, taking better care of the basketball. But he's a young man that got a very bright future, and really excited about where he's going to be. He's going to be one of the outstanding players in the Big Ten next year.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.